Have you ever noticed when you take photos, sometimes the whites of your eyes will actually photograph a weird blue color instead of white? This is not how they naturally look, so we're able to fix this inside of Photoshop. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can be doing this, even if you are a brand new beginner. So once you are inside of your Photoshop, you are going to be able to see if your eyes are blue. You can look at my eyes. You can tell that is not my natural white part of my eye, especially because of the shadows. And the one on the right side here is going to be a little bit darker than the other one. You are going to look at your toolbar and you're going to grab your dodge tool. This looks like a circle with a line sticking out of it. It is also attached to the burn tool and the sponge tool. Dodge is for lightening, burn is for darkening. We're going to be on our dodge tool, and you're just going to be able to change the size of your brush with your bracket keys on your keyboard. We are now going to very lightly brush over in short, small strokes. We don't necessarily want to hold it down because that'll make it darker than we want. And we're just going to casually brush over this until we are good with what we want. Now, you can do this on a duplicate layer. So I duplicated the layer here so I could turn it on and off and show you the difference. Take a look at that. If you do find that it is too white for you, if you're on a duplicate layer, you're then able to just lower that opacity to make it look a little more natural, or however it is that you need it to be to fit whatever you're looking for this image. Now, there are other ways we can be doing this as well. You do have the ability to lasso just part of that white in the eye there. I'm just going to do part of it here, and then we'll paint the rest of it on. And you're going to go down to your panels, and you are going to grab a curves panel. Now in your curves panel, it's going to say RGB up at the top. You're going to click on that drop down and you're going to go down to blue. Now, if you do this, you can pull it down into the yellow side of things, but don't go too far because it will make your eyeball really yellow. So we're just pulling it down a little bit. You can even go in and do a little bit of an S curve if you want. You can kind of see how that is going to adjust it. But again, we have to be very careful that it doesn't go too yellow. Now, if you like that, you're then able to just paint it on the rest of that layer as well. And you can see how in parts of it, it definitely takes it to yellow, but you do have the ability to kind of balance that out. You can go in and you can do some of the other coloring options as well. It is definitely not the best one, but you can. Now, again, we do have the ability to come in and we can lasso the corners of those whites. We can come down. This one's going to be a little bit better for you. And you're going to go all the way down to selective color. Now, in selective color, you're going to have to pick which color you're operating on. It is usually by default red. So you're going to go down and you can go into a couple of these different panels. I'm going to start with the cyans, and I am just going to pull the blacks down. And you can see in that corner how it automatically took a lot of that right out. I'm going to then shift some of the other colors to see what I need to be fixing. And you may have to do this in multiple layers as well. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to brush it onto the other corners just so I can see what I'm working with as I'm doing this. And then I'm going to go back to the cyan and I'm going to move that down to blue. Again, I'm going to change my blacks. And I can change some of the tones within that as well. I may also want to go to my neutrals. And again, it's important to lasso these sections of your eyeballs because if you don't, it will impact the rest of it. Sometimes it's a guessing game to see which layer it actually is. So the cyan helped a little bit, the blue helped a little bit, but the neutrals is where it actually dramatically shifted. And so you can kind of see how we're going to shift things there. And if you don't like something, you can always highlight it and go back to 0 as well. You can also go up to your whites and you can play with those too. And then you can paint on and off wherever you need if it happened to get in your iris or along the edges of your eyes or your skin to be able to fix those. And so then turning that on and off, you can see how that is changing the color of your eyes as well. So those are a couple of very easy ways that you can be editing your eyes to make them pop just a little bit better. If you want tips and tricks on how to actually make those eyes pop, we can talk about how to dodge and burn your irises to really make them stand out and enhance the coloring that you already have that didn't quite make it to camera the way that we would have hoped in an upcoming video. If you want to see that, go ahead and let me know down in the comments below and I will make that one for you. And make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell because every single day we're dropping brand new videos to help you to level up your imagery and your content creation on social media so that you can spend less time creating it but make more money from it so you can get back to running your business and living your best life. Questions on social media, marketing, building your business, or Photoshop tools and techniques, go ahead and drop them down below and we'll see you in the upcoming episode.